Sharon Stone's love life has too many tragedies and heartbreaks to count. And in today's video, we will be counting down on the list of those men who made it so for her. Without any further ado, let's go right into the list of the men Sharon Stone's dated, married, or hooked up with. The first on the list is Michael Greenberg. Sharon Stone's got her first taste of Hollywood romance with American film director Michael Greenberg. They met on the set of the TV movie The Vegas Strip War in 1984. It was one of Michael's productions, and he had Sharon in it. They connected so naturally and would, after their first meeting, start to spend lots of time alone. As things would play out, Sharon and Michael were really desperate to move quickly, and just a few months after their first meeting, they announced their wedding. The film stars got married in August that same year, and Sharon almost immediately realized that all of it was a bad idea that was headed to disaster. Their marriage suffered right from its early days, but somehow they managed to keep it going for 3 more years before they finally separated in 1990. Apparently, Stone's busy schedules kept her away from home often, and Michael was barely available himself as well. So it was only a matter of time before their love turned sour. Also, that Sharon Stone was one of the most desirable women in the industry at the time made Michael feel really insecure about their marriage. While he trusted his wife, he wasn't sure how long she was going to continue to wade off interests and proposals from more influential and powerful people in the industry. So they called it quits, citing irreconcilable differences. While they were together, the couple also worked on movies such as Allan Quatermain and The Lost City of God. After their marriage ended, Michael Greenberg would find his happily ever after in actress Nikki Smook. They got married in 2000 and have been together ever since then. And Sharon, well, she needed a couple of more heartbreaks before she would get close to what you might call lasting love and happiness. And the next person on Sharon's next stop on the love highway is none other than Hart Bochner. They met on the set of the 1988 TV miniseries War and Remembrance. Quite interestingly, this romance was rumored to have started when Sharon was still married and committed to Michael Greenberg. But it was going to end so badly with Hart Bochner requesting public interviews with magazines just so he could hurl insults at his ex, even going to the extremes of calling her the Antichrist. So, by 1990, it was all over with them. With all of these in perspective, it's hard to imagine that they stayed friends afterwards, as there has been no proof of communication ever since either. Hart Bochner is popular for shows like Die Hard and The Innocent, which featured top stars like Anthony Hopkins and Isabella Rossellini. Not much was heard about Bochner's love life after Sharon. Whatever she did to him seemed to have scarred his love life so badly. Anyway, Stone's continued in her quest for true love, and this time, a very different shade of tragedy was going to unfold. And the architect of it is Stephen Bing. Their relationship started sometime in 2000 and would continue until 2004. Businessman and actor, Stephen Bing was probably the only person in Sharon's dating history to break her heart twice. The first was after they split, and the second would be years later when he would take his own life. According to close friends, Bing battled with depression for almost half of his life, and this condition constantly drove him to isolation, making him sell a huge part of his possessions and inheritance. Bing's family were the founders of Bing & Bing, a New York real estate development firm that became one of the most successful in the U.S. in the early 20th century. He died from multiple blunt trauma, and Sharon couldn't hold back her frustrations and regrets. "This is really hard. I had a really hard time with it," Sharon told Extra. "He's a complicated person who I didn't think always made the good decisions." And for the next love catch, Sharon Stone was going to explore beyond her comfort zone in the hope of finding that which her heart desperately craved. Did it work? Well, let's just say that after this, she became used to the disappointments and pain that love constantly brought to her. And it is reflected in her next relationship with Dwight Yoakam. It was rumored that they met while Yoakam was shooting an Ebel watch commercial. And somehow, the American singer was able to charm his way to Sharon's heart almost instantly. Stone briefly dated the country singer Dwight Yoakam in 1992, and they made headlines when she brought him as her date to the Academy Awards in Los Angeles that same year. Johan graced the event dressed in his signature cowboy hat, and Sharon stole gazes with her lavish black satin gown. Unfortunately, this was going to be the last time something like this would ever happen. Matter of fact, that was even the last time we ever saw them together. We are guessing that the separation happened weeks after this exclusive appearance. Having explored different men in the industry, tired Sharon thought to change her strategy. So her next try would be with men who have shown records of commitment to what their hearts desired, married men. It wouldn't be all fair and square to place all the blame on her, but Stone at some point became very comfortable at snatching people's husbands and trying to transform them into her happily ever after. And her first catch would be Bill McDonald. Between 1992 to 1994, Sharon Stone was in a forbidden romance with American film producer Bill McDonald. They met for the first time on the set of the film Sliver, where Bill was one of the co-producers. And by the end of this relationship, Sharon was tagged a homewrecker and a husband snatcher. According to the rumors, Bill was happily married to his wife, Naomi Baca, until Sharon came into the equation. He ended up leaving his wife so he could give all his attention to his newly found love. The news of their engagement sent shockwaves around the industry and made Sharon lots of enemies. One person who would vow to make her pay for her sins was Bill's ex-wife, Naomi. She granted interviews where she called Sharon a homewrecker whose basic instinct was to steal her husband. "She is heartless and cruel," Naomi told the tabloid TV show Current Affair. "Sharon Stone took my dreams. She took my husband." Nobody blames her for taking out her frustrations and pain on Sharon. Her marriage was only 5 months old before her husband filed a divorce against her because of the actress. Considering all the pain that this relationship caused, I wish we could say that it lasted forever, but it didn't. They called off their engagements a few months later, and Sharon went after her next catch, Phil Bronstein. As if life wanted to punish her for all she was accused of in her last relationship, Sharon's next romance was going to be the worst she has ever involved herself with. And not only just because she had 3 miscarriages, but even after the marriage ended, she was going to continue to suffer for her past mistakes. On February 14, 1998, Sharon Stone tied the knot with investigative journalist Phil Bronstein. After multiple failed attempts to carry and deliver her own child, Sharon and her husband would resort to adoption. Together, they adopted a son, Rowan, who is now 22. The trouble started after their marriage hit a rocky path during their 6th year together. And in 2003, a divorce was the only thing they wanted. Bronstein filed the divorce, citing irreconcilable differences, and then the fight for custody began. At the end of this legal drama, Stone was driven to the dark corners of depression and would spend weeks in the hospital in recovery. The case went in favor of her husband, Bronstein, and they would leave her with just visitation rights. There were lots of rumors about why the judges agreed to restrict the actress's access to her son, even though she claimed she was the primary caretaker. First was because of the movie that brought her to the limelight, Basic Instinct. The film is heavily decorated with graphic sex scenes, and the most popular would be during a police interrogation, where Stone's character uncrosses her legs to show that she is not putting on any underwear. "I lost custody of my child," she said in an interview with Bruce Bozzi on the podcast Table for Two. "The judge asked my child, my tiny little boy, 'Do you know that your mother makes sex movies?'" Sharon argued that it was not fair for the court to judge her lifestyle based on the role she played in a movie. "People are walking around with no clothes on at all on regular TV now, and you saw maybe like a 1/16 of a second of possible nudity of me, and I lost custody of my child," Sharon continued, almost in tears. But that was not the only reason why the court ruled against her. They also believed that she was all about her career at that point in her life and would delegate the child's care to third parties. Her career took her away from home for long hours, and the only way the court could see a stable and secure upbringing for Rowan was with his father. Sharon was also accused of trying to inject Botox into her son's feet to stop them from smelling. Bronstein claimed that Stone always overreacted to their son's medical conditions, citing instances when she claimed he had a spinal issue when there was no evidence to support this. Sharon Stone was forced to settle for visitation rights, where she saw her son only once every month. Reflecting on all of these in her 2021 memoir, The Beauty of Living Twice, Sharon would confess exactly how traumatic losing custody of her son was for her. "After I lost primary custody of Rowan, I couldn't function. I just lay on the couch. I was so damn tired. I would cry," she wrote. "I couldn't focus on anything but having my son back in my arms. Nothing else mattered, just getting him back." Rowan also shares in his mother's love for him, as he would file a report asking for permission to take on his mother's last name. Sharon often refers to him as the joy of her life, constantly sharing photos of him on her social handles. Rowan, like his mother, is pursuing an acting degree, and he also posed for Odo magazine in 2020. Sharon has two other adopted sons, Laird, who is now 18, and Quinn, now 16. Sharon Stone definitely took her time to heal before she continued on her love adventure. And considering how hurt she was after she lost the custody battle, it was only a billionaire that could draw her out from her hiding place. From 2011 to 2012, Sharon Stone was romantically involved with Swedish businessman and investor Johan Elias. They made their first public appearance at the 2011 Oscars after-party in Los Angeles. Stone has been quiet for so long after her last misfortune with love, and so this made everybody interested in her new love story. In an interview, Sharon would say that friendship with Johan could be the start of something new. "Our relationship is new, but we feel great admiration for one another. Two things that are the foundation of possible love," she said. Elias, the most shy of the pair, would, when he was asked about his relationship with the film star, comment that it was everything that Stone said. However, most people believed that he was grieving, and that was why he was acting so confused. Johan and his wife, Amanda, recently separated after 21 years of marriage. They both were involved in romantic affairs outside their marriage. She with London-based cosmetic surgeon Dr. Jean-Louis Sebag, and Elias with Brazilian politician Ana Paula Sfero, whom he later married. Sharon herself was also going through a roller coaster of emotions, so she might have started the relationship because she was bored or there was a catch for her somewhere in the long run. Anyway, relationships like this never stand the test of time, as the two of them eventually ran out of energy in putting up with the media and public shows. So they separated quietly. Johan Elias went ahead to marry the lady he was caught in bed with, and Stone, well, she continued her search for true love. We all thought that Sharon Stone was done with Hollywood men, but here she was in an unexpected romance with an actor from a kids' TV show, David DeLuise. The American actor who played the father, Jerry Russo, in Disney's Wizards of Waverly Place, became Sharon's goldfish sometime in 2015. Stone was 56 years old and David 43, but age didn't seem to matter much to them. They were unapologetic about their love, as they were always spotted kissing and cuddling up in public. But one thing that was very fishy about this ship was that Sharon would never publicly announce David as her lover. They just continued with their public romances while keeping the media and everyone else guessing. An interesting confession she made on why age difference didn't matter so much in her relationship with David was when she stated that she is doing all she can to live life to the fullest, and age will not be a hindrance to her happiness. After the actress suffered and survived a severe brain hemorrhage in 2001, this tragic incident helped Sharon learn to prioritize all aspects of her life because, according to her, she came face to face with death, and all she had spent half of her life chasing mattered very little in situations like that. "I spent 2 years learning to walk and talk again. I came home from that stroke stuttering and couldn't read for 2 years," the actress confessed. "I don't need someone to make me feel bad about growing older. I will tell you what makes you feel bad when you think you might not." Sharon and David remained an item for 3 more years, after which they split, and none of them ever addressed the reason for their separation publicly. Sharon Stone casted her love net once more, and this time it caught an Italian multimillionaire, Angelo Boffa. With age out of the way, Sharon Stone was excited to explore all her options in her search for true love, and she found a catch with Italian real estate mogul Angelo Buffa. She was 60 years old at this time and Angelo 41. They met in St. Moritz, Switzerland in December 2018 and were together until 2021. Sharon kept trying hard to keep her private business away from the media, but their occasional romances in public places were hard to ignore. In October 2018, they were spotted on a romantic carriage ride through Palma de Mallorca. Sharon and Angelo seemed deeply in love with each other as they held hands and sat comfortably in their vintage ride. In an interview in the new issue of Grazia magazine, Sharon continued to hide the status of her relationship with Angelo, but she clearly stated that she was not going to be a part of any romantic relationship unless it was going to be an actual partnership. "I was just not that girl who was told that a man would define me. I was told that if I wanted a man in my life, it wouldn't be an arrangement, it would be an actual partnership. And those are hard to find," she said. "We never heard about them afterward. We just figured that they split because of Sharon's new love interest, which she was constantly advertising on her social handles." In 2021, 63-year-old Sharon Stone started another well-publicized romance with 25-year-old rapper RMR. These two lovebirds have been spotted on several dates in top locations like Delilah and the Highlight Room in Los Angeles. As usual, Sharon has refused to disclose the full details of her relationship with the rapper, but there is a lot of photo evidence that reveals that they are deeply into each other. In one image shared on Instagram, the rapper had his hands around the actress, and in another, she was wearing one of his ski masks. They are enjoying each other's company and hanging out. They are on the same frequency, and it's a very unique friendship, a source told the Daily Mail. RMR was born in Atlanta, but moved to Los Angeles to pursue his music career. He wears ski masks as his signature look and rose to fame with the song Rascal in 2020. While many people believe that Sharon has chosen a wild path in her search for love, the singer maintains that she was willing to go to any length to seek out that which her heart desired. Sharon Stone has suffered so much pain in her entanglements with the men she loved, and it's only right that love satisfies her in old age. And that's all we wish for her: true and lasting happiness. Sharon Stone, now 65 years old, credits her youthful looks to daily exercise and a healthy diet culture. She enjoys the celebrity lifestyle with her 3 sons in their home in Beverly Hills. The celebrity actress has an estimated net worth of $40 million. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out other videos of beautiful actresses from the yesteryears on the end screen.